So Fellerin will stay on his Crusader, and we're gonna get to see TMO's Dagoth. What do you think, Ernst? You're done with the rating system? You're like, Farkas left, and if he's not gonna work, I'm not gonna work either. I'm just gonna curl up, take me a nap. Alright. I was a Hand of Dagoth's a really good pool. Quartermaster to give you a opening on 1 is not bad as well.
This might be handy.
Ordinarily, Fellerin would be looking for edicts. Right now, he's just happy he's got Ring, but without removal, he has no direct answer to Hand of Dagoth, save for trading. Which, it's now a fun time to reminisce. Do you remember when Hand of Dagoth was a 5/5? With all of said keywords?
I stand ready.
Dagoth Oathman coming in on curve to trigger both. I think playing Mechanical Ally is Fellerin's play here. So it gets you 2 bodies. If he takes the value trade, you're able to then just trade, but instead you're going for max aggro, max face. So Oathman gets dropped, trade into the 3/2. The weakness of this play is it now exposes Orc Clan for trades, whereas otherwise he'd be hidden for 1 more lane and have gotten you a little bit more value. But it's kind of an argument of is the here and now better, or is the damage later better? Fellerin went with the here and now. It did also prompt a trade into Steam Constructor, which could be valuable to pull back with Yagrum, whereas otherwise you'd just end up with a reconstructed spider and a spider worker off of Mechanical Ally. So he's going to push for 4 here. TMO really doesn't have a good-looking next play. Quartermaster's going to come down. Then he's going to have 2 daggers and 3 magicka just floating. Mr. Death reporting a 2-0 win. Okay, Bolt might be better than Quartermaster. Just remove that 3/3 before Fellerin's notoriously buffy deck can deal with it. And then we've got a Hand of Dagoth being played back-to-back, which is going to be his win condition versus this deck. Fellerin none too pleased to not really have found any of his buff or combo cards. The shift is nice. It'll help, once he starts playing around Hand, it'll help Hand switch to the correct lane. So he's going to Yagrum the Mechanical Ally for card draw. Alright, and we're just going to see a Hand of Dagoth played.
Have you come to submit or come to die?
Alright. Fellerin's play. So the advantage of a 5/5 Mechanical Ally is it actually trades with the Hand of Dagoth. There's not really a 3-drop I think we could pull with Mechanical Ally that matters, so I'm kind of in favor of rolling the Merchant first and seeing if you pull hard removal, given that most hard removal you'll pull is going to be 4 or 5.
To be reduced to violence at my age.
The double Mighty Conjuring will be good if TMO can live to that. But I think it's going to be relatively simple because he's going to be able to grab the trade here and here. Pick that off. There's a gear work. I don't think you play the gear work. I think you play the reflective. Oh, he's going to ring out gear work? Alright, that makes sense. So you get back your 5 health, then you're taking 5, 6, 7, 8 damage next turn. So that's going to put you to 10, but then you're perfectly set up because you've got another Hand of Dagoth in play and a Mighty Conjuring. So you bump, 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 Hand of Dagoth into the Shadow, Shadow Shift the other one over here. Chose to keep the ward. I was then going to wonder if he was going to Shadow Shift over for this, but he didn't.
Have you come to submit or come to die?
I keep a spare blade in my boot.
Interesting choice. Both hands can be cleared with Fervor. Because you get the bump value trade, bump trade, which completely shuts off a Mighty Conjuring for next turn.
Talking mud crab merchant. Read my
Grab outflank.
mouthpaw.
Last thing you need is those hands getting guard or your opponent getting guard. But it might mean that Felleran's going to try to play to keep his big boys alive by using outflank.
Chimeric spirit of the sky, guide us.
He's hovering hand like he's trading. I do think TMO made a mistake in not allowing for this one to be traded and then shifting it over. I think that was the better line of play, and he's now kind of... well, he's paying for it. Can Duke the Fervor, though, which is nice. You are not a Rage deck, though. But Felleran, who otherwise was going to have a really difficult time dealing with the two hands of Dagoth, otherwise has now found a way to have them cleared. Mighty Conjuring is going to be the next real trial for his deck. One's going to be coming down next turn, and then another one the turn after, provided he's not able to answer the first. Felleran deciding how he wants to split up his creatures. TMO does not run Rage.
Mud crab merchant. Read my lips. Mouthpaw.
Grab the Sentry, give him the Troll. It's another 7-cost card he's almost never going to play. He's debating whether he plays Outflank and a Mud Crab, or if he goes with the Reflective. Looks like he's using the Outflank. Pulls an Ancestor's Battle Axe. Alright, so the majority of the threat's over here, so Mighty Conjuring's just going to sit here in the lane. Or it looks like he's using Shift to trade, and then maybe Mighty Conjuring over here. Five, 9, and a Shackle. I think that's going to be the best out here. TMO's option is going to be, well, limited to probably just playing another Mighty Conjuring and praying it holds. He knows TMO is 2 away from lethal if he doesn't Shackle or put a guard up. A little bit more than 2. 6 away from lethal.
There's nowhere to hide the moon.
So picks up the 4 damage there, which is going to be just enough to net Felleran a card. So then, I guess we're going to see TMO bump on both occasions, and then put a Mighty Conjuring down. You might as well drop him to 11. No reason not to. Alright, then you pray it holds. Drop you a Dreamer.
We see you waking and sleeping.
Alright, so we've got the Ancestor's Battle Axe, which is enough to enable the trade here. The Shackle prevents that from attacking, or could prevent this from attacking. I think the 8 damage face is more threatening. Oh, can't play the Shackle, so he double guards. Okay, fair enough. So, contrary to what I thought was going to happen, that's going to be a TMO win. He could have shifted, he had Cliff Facer. Either way, that is game. TMO taking round 2. It's 10 minutes late, so appropriately Presidente timed. Greetings, Presidente. Alright, we will catch them in their 3rd match. That is going to be the Dagoth versus the... let me check what the other unbanned deck was. I think it was the Spell Sword Dwemer that Felleran brought. Alright, in they go. Fingers crossed. I don't know who I'm rooting for at the moment, though. Like, I like watching a deck that isn't meta do well. And TMO's Dagoth is not something we've seen other people bring. So there's a part of me that wants to root for that deck. He managed to get Ring this time as opposed to Fellerin having Ring, I believe, last 2 games. Fellerin now has Edicts to deal with the Hands of Dagoth. And or any big 8/8 Lava Atronachs. But is starting relatively late, having to go to turn 3 before he's able to make a play.
Watch yourself.
Something that I'm certain TMO is all too happy with. He's got a Cradle Crush in hand, which is a good answer for the first Old Salty's Assault. Picks up one of his 1-power crabs. And we're just going to see Channeled Storm hit the 3/3.
Your blood will spill.
So here's that one of Spirit. There's an Earthbone Spinner in hand, kind of waiting for it to get played. So I don't know it's going to have the desired effect. Correction, I know it's not going to have the desired effect. But he can play it alongside the Enraged Mudcrab. Ooh, that's also really unfortunate because now the Earthbone Spinner is able to get the value trade. Or sorry, enable the value trade with the Wardcrafter. Oh, are you gonna yawn? Look right at the camera and yawn? You're such a cute kitty. You are the best kitty. Getting toward feeding time, so if you hear any whiny Farkases, it's because we never feed him, ever.
Mudcrab merchant. Read my lips.
Ooh. There's no good options there. I guess you pick Blackhand, but North Point putting down the 0/4 guard is going to be a pain. Yep, agrees, picks up the Blackhand. Now, unfortunately, all the crabs that could be answered with a Belligerent Giant, no, sorry, a Cradle Crush Giant, landed in one lane. So Cradle Crush is just going to come down and answer that. What have we seen for crabs? 2 Enraged Mud Crabs? Let me pull back up the Spell Sword list. I'm curious if that is all. No, he runs 3 Enraged Mud Crabs in this list. I've seen lists cut it down to 2, but he's 3 of everything, unless it's a 1 of. Got it. Well, yeah, unless it's either a 1 of or a 3 of. No middle ground. So the question is, do you play into another Old Salty's Mudcrab Merchant? Try going wide again, or do you lay down your Dwemer? Opts for Dwemer. Really unfortunate, as there's the Belligerent Giant waiting there just to get rid of it. Yeah, you bolt the Reflective. Just get it off the board. Alright, rings out Belligerent Giant, hits Halls. That is a 1 of Necromancer. Picks up another Halls for the Dwemer, so not a bad top deck. Though I'm not sure, now that TMO's pivoting to the aggro, I'm not sure if you've got time or tempo to play a Halls on curve. You might need to spend some time kind of setting it up. It's like using 2 Dwarven Spheres to lock things down, playing a Mudcrab Merchant. The advantage of playing the 2 Spheres is you're able to Halls the next turn, which gets them up to 5, so if you need to trade with the Giants, that's an opportunity. Or an availability. You could Halls now, play the Merchant. That enables you for a Blackhand Messenger, so I guess you do have the capability of doing it. So he's playing the Merchant first regardless. Flesh Atra is not bad. Picks Aldora. And then goes with the Spheres setup for later. 7 Magicka over here. So maybe North Point Captain, Pawnbroker. Captain going probably over here. You want to save Cradle Crush for when another Old Salty's Assault comes down. Given that he runs 3, it's only a matter of time till he finds one. So I don't think you want to Cradle Crush this lane. There's also, you only get like 1 kill, and you weaken yourself for a trade in there. I could see an argument for playing Luzra instead of Susan, but I like playing Susan.
You're with me, soldier.
I await your command.
So he's going to go hide the giant. And then not picking up anything big, he opts to go for that. Lesser Ward was a huge pull. Means we might see the Edict come down this turn. Alternatively, it's a Hall's Automaton. What are our best options? Like, you've got Black Hand, so I guess you could Edict Black Hand. Clear that off. Opts to go for the buff just to start taking the trades here. Grabbing the value trade versus Susan. Oh! You don't want to see that. I mean, TMO is like, thank you! Thank you, Dick. I knew I was supposed to win this. Does he have lethal? 4, 10, 15? No. So I'd imagine we're going to see the... maybe the ring used. Play Luzra so that you get the buff onto the Belligerent Giant once you've cleared. Then a bump, which is going to give him a card, but that's fine. Then bump to clear here. Clear the guard. Luzra going down enables Zancano for 2 extra points of damage. You do want to play Luzra first. He's opting to save the ring.
Kill them all.
There's the 3rd Old Salties.
A grievous error.
Yeah, now TMO realizes his mistake. He could have had +2. And then he plays Luzra into a trade. Odd. Right then. So you could trade here, Black Hand it down. 6 Magicka remaining. Old Salties into the lane. See what you pick up from Merchant. Then you're looking at 13. I guess you trade here. You're going to go up to 17 health. You're taking, what do we say, 13, 14, 15, assuming he can buff up, 16. Put the guard down. Theoretically, you live for 1 turn. Going the Edict route, Edict 1, Black Hand the other. Why Cradle Crush and not Belligerent Giant?
The Black Hand sees all.
There's loot here, Skyward. I can smell it.
A little bit of an interesting choice there. Chose to leave the 7-4 with Breakthrough instead of killing it. And leaving the 6-4 without Breakthrough. 7, 11, 15, 7, 11, 16.
No mercy.
I have many important things on my mind.
Puts him to within perfect Cliff Racer range.
Go get them, Skywag.
I think that is going to be victory for TMO's Dagoth. Because there's no way to clear the board, let alone deal with the Cliff Racer getting played down next turn. No way to kill that off to Necro it back. You can Edict down one of the 7-4s. Old Salty's Assault, which hopefully gives you a non-creature, which allows you to trade here. And if it's a non-creature, maybe it's a Cruel Fire Bloom. If it's a Cruel Fire Bloom, you then trigger Cruel Fire Bloom on this guy, clear him, drain 2, and you're still alive.
Chimera, spirit of the sky, guide us.
So there was an out. It was a very convoluted out. But TMO is going to take that 2-1 over Fellerin. Well played to both. You could definitely tell there was a lot of math going on in people's heads. And I don't know, I enjoy doing math in card games. So Aquaman Ermark is the last match that is going, and they are not in game at the moment. Let me go ahead and just see if I can get the score from them here real quick, and then I'll update it. While we wait on that, there are the results from the round. As we're now 2.5 hours in, so we're running roughly half an hour ahead of schedule, assuming they are actually done with their matches. Our current standings, pending them, is our 3-win people, our Poofed and TMO. I will be looking forward to... We'll be reviewing their decks once we roll up the next bracket. Ermark went offline. Or he got moved to the top. He got moved to the top. Alright, we'll get the question posed to both of them. Alright, Ermac went 1-2. Alright, going ahead, reporting score. Wonderful. Alright. Let's go ahead and spin up our bracket for round 4 then. Round 4 generated. Check. We were going to be watching TMO versus Poofed. So let's go ahead and while they're working on getting things started, we will look at the lists. Which, really we're looking at bans, because we've looked at both of these players' lists before. So alright, quick reminder. On Poofed's side, we've got these 3. Really? Dagoth? Yes. No, this is TMO's side. I was like, we saw Dagoth from TMO, not Poofed. Alright, so on TMO's side, we have these decks again. The Dagoth, the Battle Sork, and the Crab's Dwemer. So, in general, he is mid-range with some drain. His aggro list being Crab's Dwemer, which is Tech versus Control. His opponent, mid-Dominion, Tech for long games, Battle Crab, or what we call it, Crobots, a Crobots deck, and then the Bone Daddy Sorcerer. I think the Sorcerer scares me the most as a mid-range list. Sure, he's not or the Ward Sorcerer, because sure, he's not running, Skinned Hound. But there's a fair bit of drain, there's a single copy of Mentor's Ring, the wards in here are ridiculous. Bodies are big. It's gonna be an annoying deck to deal with. We already beat Spellsword. We've tapped for this. We're like, no, I know I can beat the Crabs. The Dominion list. A Nasiv strikes fear in the heart of all Dagoth players. But it is one of... Oh, there's one of Penitus as well. And Razum? Ugh. I would expect probably my Battle Sork to get banned. So we're going to probably... These are both really terrifying decks for us to face. Probably ban the Dominion, as Varen shuts out our aggro. Queen Baron Zaya giving guards is a pain. There's Shackles, 13 Prophecies. I think the Dominion's just bad news for us. As much as I want to see the Dominion played, I think the ban's going to be on Dominion. And we're just going to have to find a way to beat that Sorcerer list. At least it only runs one Shadowfen. Alright, so that's our ban. Again, if we're running a Nasi, Penitus... So now from Poofed's side, we've got the wards, we've got aggro. We're most scared about guards and wards, and I think Skinned Hound gives the Battle Sork the mirror. Gatekeeper, multiple late game guards and unsummons. Not really playing with damage, but where he is using damaged removal. He's got negations, Earthbone Spinners to get around our wards. I think this deck is Bad News Bears for our ward decks, and Bad News Bears for our Dominion deck, because most value we're going to get off Anasi is ward, while he's going to be getting the majority of his ward value. We're just fine running this, and again, we kind of settle in, we think our Crobots are better than his Crobots, and so we trust our Crobots to win that matchup. And we don't expect him to ban it, and we don't expect ours to get banned. Alright, so those are my bans. Battle Sork gets banned, Dominion gets banned. Do we know the results of the bans? Oh, it was elsewhere on that tab. Teehee. Let's go ahead and refresh up. They're readied up and they're looking through their bands right now. Alright. So we'll go ahead and shift back over to game as we wait for them to get started. Then once we get started, I'll report back to you on what the bands ended up being. Let's get our standings pulled up. So the people in contention for winning are currently up here. The only way any of these 2-drops are going to be able to win, 2 wins are going to be able to win, is if TMO or Poofed loses in round 5. Sethdove has a very solid tiebreak score that he's built up, but whoever ends up winning here, we can see that both these players have incredibly high win percentages, and that win percentage is going to get averaged into the opponent's win here. So we've got solid entries from Feller and Sethdove. I think Liz might be too low to make a play for first, but she may be able to play for second or third if she's able to win her next 2 matches. I don't think there's any other surprises there in the queue. I don't really expect Aquaman. I mean, they're still going to play it out because they're still getting points. And the points is getting really tight. Poofed, 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 poofed. And so being able to win just 1 round and scoring you the extra points for that round might be enough to end up putting you over the edge and getting into qualifying based on those points. Band's still not in, but you've got to imagine that it always seems to be that the person we want to watch is the person who just finished up their previous match, and so they're like, hey, I'm going to take the 5-minute check-in time I have, I'm going to get up, refill my water, stretch my legs, get the blood flowing back into my hands, just switch it back between, playing tennis between the screens, waiting for bands and waiting for start. We do have the others getting started up. Bands are in. The Dominion was banned for Poofed, and then Poofed went and banned the Crabs. So we are going to get to see that Sorcerer deck, or Battle Sork, the Daggerfall Sorcerer Battle Mage combo. And I agree with TMO that just getting rid of that Anasi, getting rid of that Penitence is key to your deck's continued survival. As much as you have to grit your teeth and deal with the Sorcerer and its wards, sometimes in a tournament, you just have to do that. Time have we got? 4:35. We good. And we're opening with the Battle Sork. So Poofed on Ring.
Moves light your path.
TMO opening with Double Harpy, Skinned Hound, Mammoth.
Talking mud crab merchant. Read my lips.
So Skinned Hound being the play already. Gonna try to get the value trade and start clearing out the crabs. 5th Legion Trainer. If you're gonna play it, it goes Shadow. I don't think you play that into the Skinned Hound, because that's asking for a Quartermaster Dagger to be played. Alright, just continue, play Mammoth. Goes ahead, finally gets the, whatchamacallit down? Trainer. So grabs the trade with Ally. I imagine we're going to see a Skinned Hound here, but we might see it hit a Windkeep Spell Sword.
My Arcade Spear. This day will be mine.
I think Hound goes Shadow as well. It's a really nice lock. Poofed was really hoping he was going to get a way of summoning his crabs. Instead, we might see an Apprentice Necromancer pull back a Merchant and an Enraged Mudcrab, all go field, as I think that's the most value he's going to be able to squeeze out of the trainer. Probably would have gone with it first, just to maybe pick up and execute. I mean, your opponent doesn't need the banner, so you pick up the Paralyze. It's not great, but you'll take what you can get. Locks the Mammoth.
Just in nick of time.
Alfiq is for next turn. Harpy, Quartermaster here. We'll take that trade, this trade, Harpy this. Quartermaster over here to set up the trade there. Having Quartermaster down allows the dagger over here if he tries to play for Fervor. So you're not really too worried about getting out-controlled there. Just goes ahead, crushing blows down the Mammoth. I was wondering if we're going to see a Sphere lock this down and try to tempo. But I think Poofed is feeling the pressure of running out of cards. Alright. Old Salty's what you were looking for. If you go with this, you're really locking yourself in on what you can do. But maybe a Blood Pack going down to try to find some extra face damage isn't bad.
Don't underestimate me. All can be had for the right price.
Read my lips. Mouthpaw.
Luminous Shards. The Empower could be nice. But it is a little risky to keep. Alright, so let's think through the plan here. Sower's a good pickup.
This one will get what is needed.
See what we pull. Unday Clan Bleak Coast.
Mother.
The disadvantage of Sower is you're going tempo. You're going outside your tempo. Unday Clan, so setting up Unday Clan Troll. I could see that. 3 creatures will die.
We draw power from their blood.
Because this sacrifices. So you are going to pick up a blood magic spell, and it's a Corpse Curse. Not terrible. You could play Corpse Curse alongside Alfiq or alongside Sower. Grab your trade here.
You will feed my clan.
Corpse Curse this lane. Is it best to play Sower? You could just play Sower and then put Daggerfall down.
Do you not fear me, mortal? You should.
Looks like that's the route TMO's going. Just save his Corpse Curse until he has absolutely no answer. I can respect that. We have Mechanical Ally in here, don't we? Yes. Alright, that's a Yagrum target. Enraged Crab pickup. That is the 3rd Enraged Crab.
Greetings from the large living dwarf.
Gall and peace.
So he takes the trade here. And now he's just going to drop the Corpse Curse. Alright, none of you are going anywhere. Put down an extra Sower and then a Windkeep over here. Or Sower here, Windkeep here. Alfiq, that works as well. Ah, so that was perfect. Pulling the hulls. Or, sorry, shackling so that when your opponent pulls hulls. Ugh, and that misses, unfortunate. Alright, so plan. No support removal in hand. Unday Clan will pull us a whatchamahullet thingy-mabob. So we're gonna tome onto this. That enables a trade.
No mood for you.
If we tome, that gives us 6 magicka remaining. Wordcrafter now gives us an additional tome and sets up a future trade here.
Watch yourself now. Shield.
And Unday Clan goes over here just for backup in case he finds Crushing Blow for the troll. And we're gonna hope to pick up Drain Blood. Corpse Curse. I mean, not terrible, but not Drain Blood. Alright, you've dropped your opponent to 5. Poofed doesn't have Burst and has an Enraged Mud Crab. So to deal with that, might require a Corpse Curse. Because you could drop Sower, but then you're permanently wondering, is there hard removal coming for me?
Do you not fear me, mortal? You should.
Careful there, friend.
And leaving a unattended creature to go face is pretty dangerous. Is Poofed's list the one that was running? It does run Dawnbreaker. So a Dawnbreaker top deck would be lethal. If you bump face, you could use Luminous Shards to clear it. Pulls yet another Corpse Curse. He is incapable of getting Drain. Oh, come on, roll, roll. You would have drawn a card and been able to go wider. Now we're going to have him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, you roll, pick up the Corpse Curse, play the Corpse Curse, draw another. Put a guard down in the lane. If the next card that Poofed draws is Dawnbreaker, he missed lethal. And then TMO missed a Luminous Shards ability. Play the Corpse Curse he knows. You don't play the other one. Another roll on Drain Vitality. Accompanied by Pretty Please, Pretty Please, Pretty Please. Oh, there's the Crushing Blow! He went face, he shouldn't have.
Very sorry.
He gave Poofed the win. Oh. If you had held on for one more turn, you would have won. Had you removed the crab so that it didn't go face and put you at 3 earlier, you would have won. 2 back-to-back misplays. They're misplays because he ended up losing. Obviously, he was following a route that he thought was superior. But those 2 back-to-back misplays are going to be enough to give Poofed the game. Alright, and so now it's going to be a rematch of Crowbots versus Dagoth. Alright, this has been TMO's reliable deck that's carried him through the tournament thus far. Let's see if it's able to do the same here. Really don't want to be starting on turn 3. Starting on turn 3. That was a crab.
To your house.
You do need to start opposing that early. So Trespasser comes down. Alright, so he's drawing into the curve to allow him to play. You take your trade, you drop Thief Shadow.
My paws are quicker than your eyes.
Oh. No good. Trade, repeat Thief.
My paws are quicker than your eyes.
Sentinel, sword, trade. You're gonna need to use a ring charge for it, but it's possible.
Let's see if we can find something useful.
You'll probably cycle the dagger away.
Too slow. Training is over. It's time to act.
The double Harpy gives him an opportunity to kind of stop the bleeding. Alternatives is you could ring out the Mournhold Trader for your final play. I was gonna say, alternatively, you could go with the Discerning Thief again. Play out Crown Quartermaster, shuffle the dagger away, see what you can pull.
My paws are quicker than your eyes.
I keep a spare blade in my boot.
So he is pivoting to try to switch to aggro, but he's not going face. There's the Hand of Dagoth. Alright, these two can be traded off.
Twos.
Don't underestimate me.
Have you come to submit or come to die?
Edict Bait, press for 6. Crab first, just in case you get removal.
Mud crab, merchant. Read my lips. The mouth paw.
Fervor's gonna make Aerostorm really useless for our opponent. And it's useless for us, so I think we grab the Trespasser's Bane. We can hit the Mournhold Trader with it after we edict this guy. Protect our Dwemer. Close out this round. Looking for options here. So you could Earthbone Spinner 1, Aerostorm to clear 2. That leaves 3 on board. Alternatively, Harpy Cliff Racer leaves only 1 damage going face.
Too slow.
He is starting to cycle, look for his answers. Ditch the dagger. It's not going to be useful. I mean, it is useful for this guy, I guess. Trade up that way. He agrees.
Put these to use.
So Fervor, Necro, pulls an Enraged Mudcrab.
Chimeric spirit of the sky, guide us.
What's great is that you're locking your opponent into removing Fervor. Hopefully. Trade, dagger trade, leaves both of these. Harpy can lock down that. Put your opponent at 3 off lethal. I'll fix a guard, but you can't play it alongside Harpy.
Let's put these to use.
That's going to give him lethal. Unless Pawnbroker can pull something real good. No, you got to play Pawnbroker here. You died to Dynamo last time. I think it's going to be a repeat. The silence doesn't do it.
The forest.
Oh, no, it does. Silence does do it, because it does the 1 damage, which allows the trade. Still alive. Need to close 16 damage with 1 burst in hand. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Needs 8 burst. Opponent giving you a card. It's Prankster Mage. Prankster Mage, sadly, will only guard up against 1. So you're going to draw first with this. See what you pull.
Here you've been looking for me.
Opts not to draw first. Other remaining options are basically all boiled down to Pawnbroker.
I keep a spare blade in my boot.
That's going to give him a guard. I guess you're looking at,
The Nords must take back Skyrim.
yeah, see, it gets buffed by Fervor.
A grievous error.
TMO now realizes his mistake, concedes out. Poofed is going to take their rounds 2-0. And while I didn't see as many misplays on, that last one, but I don't think that made a difference. I think TMO could have found a way to win that first game. But it is done.